Ohio State goes to Las Vegas and defeats the Texas Longhorns 80-72. The importance of this game cannot be understated for Ohio State. What it means for the program, what it means for their confidence, what it means for this team trying to get off on the right foot this season. Many people were skeptical, including myself. I actually was very skeptical about this team when I learned about the team losing their scrimmage by nearly 20 points at the beginning of the season to Cincinnati. Thankfully, that was just a scrimmage, and Ohio State is 1-0 on the year. Ohio State shot 55.6% in the second half, with Bruce Thornton leading the team with 20 points himself and a significant 33-10 advantage in the bench scoring department. Ohio State got contributions from all over the place. Bradshaw was somebody that was come back for this game. Many was expecting a lot from. He only had 2 points. He had 4 fouls, but Evan Mahaffey, the starter last year, who is now coming off the bench this year, comes in. He only scores 3 points, but he does manage to get 8 rebounds. He has some very good defensive plays. No steals or anything like that, but he played 15 minutes, and boy, did you feel him out there the entire time in those 15 minutes. But what was the key factor in this game and what led Ohio State to get ahead by so much in the first half? Ohio State was ahead by 15 points with 6 minutes to go left in the first half. Ohio State shot the 3 ball like crazy. Ohio State did a wonderful job of getting guys open and taking aggressive shots. John Mobley from 2 or 3 steps back from the 3-point arc, looking like Steph Curry out there from the logo, shooting the 3 ball. True freshman. For him to be trusted by Jake Diebler in this game, the season opener, going out to Las Vegas, trusting his true freshman, John Mobley Jr., it was huge. John Mobley Jr. finishes the game with 14 points. He finishes the game 4 for 4 from 3-point shooting, 2 personal fouls, 1 rebound, stayed in the game in only 13 minutes. 14 points in 13 minutes. Young man, you really helped this team win for Ohio State. Micah Parrish, he can also not be underappreciated in this one. He added 3 triples in this game, demonstrating the depth from the perimeter that this team has. There was a lot of talk in the offseason about best backcourts, and I saw multiple top 25 lists about the best backcourts in college basketball, and a lot of them didn't include Ohio State. I'm letting you know right now, if you didn't include Ohio State in your top 25 backcourts in college basketball, you're just plain wrong. You're just plain wrong. This is a wonderful backcourt that Ohio State has with depth. Bruce Thornton, Michi Johnson, Micah Parrish also back there in the backcourt, John Mobley Jr. This is just a really, really good backcourt, and you're not going to find many better in college basketball. This could be the best backcourt, or arguably the best backcourt in all of the Big Ten before it's said and done. Now, I think Purdue will have something to say about that between Braden Smith and Fletcher Loyer, but at least if you factor in the depth, this is going to look like one of the best backcourts in the Big Ten, and they showed it tonight against Texas. A lot of really strong bench play. I already mentioned it. John Mobley Jr., Evan Mahaffey coming in with 3 points, but don't doubt the true sophomore who had a wonderful time after Jake Diebler was named the interim head coach last year, Devin Royal. 7 for 11 from the field, 2 for 4 from behind the 3-point arc, added the 3-point game to his game this offseason. It was really good to see. He played 25 minutes, actually played more minutes than Sean Stewart, played more minutes than Bradshaw. Sean Stewart got himself in some foul trouble in this one, 4 fouls. He looked disappointed with his play at times, but he could not help himself from cheering on this team and what he saw with players coming off the bench. Texas did what they needed to do. Texas got their starters in foul trouble. Bradshaw, Sean Stewart, these guys that came in from Kentucky, from Duke, these guys from these big programs. But Devin Royal, the local Columbus kid, comes in with the great game, out to Las Vegas with the great game, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and he did have only 1 foul in this game. Like I said, 25 points, or 25 minutes, only 1 foul. say it's a pretty good game from Devin Royal. Resilient defense and key stops. They held Texas to 24% shooting from the rest of the roster behind Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson, he looked like LeBron with the Cavs early on in his career. Just no help at times. Now, I don't want to disparage the Texas team. Texas has good players, but Ohio State was doing a really good job of playing defense against those players and making Trey Johnson try to have to do everything on his own. And there was times when he did have to do everything on his own because he just didn't have other guys who were going to be open and be able to help him with that. Jake Diebler praised this team's collective toughness, particularly in responding to Texas's runs without breaking down, allowing Ohio State to maintain the lead throughout. Texas never led once in this game, and it seemed like every time Ohio State got to a 10, a 12, a 13-point lead, it seemed like every single time Texas came trickling back. Texas would come back a little bit more. Only ahead by 5. At one point, they cut it to 3. But what does Ohio State do? Ohio State does not make the same mistakes they made under Chris Holtmann, where they allowed teams to get back in by not scoring the ball for long runs. The difference in this one is you have 2 playmakers. At least today you had 2 playmakers. Who knows? Meechie Johnson could be even more of a playmaker. He only had 6 points in this game, 2 for 11 shooting, but both those shots were 3-point field goals. And Meechie Johnson's going to shoot much better than 2 for 7 from behind the arc in games. So you can rely on him to come back as well. But Bruce Thornton and Micah Parrish were the key factors in getting this team buckets when they needed to, or getting themselves to the free throw line so that way they could add points for this team. Micah Parrish goes 4 for 5. Bruce Thornton goes 3 for 3 from the free throw line. It was a really good indication of leadership and being able to rely on certain players for this team. Strong guard play, especially in the clutch. This is another thing that Ohio State hasn't seemed to have. I don't know what it is that Jake Diebler has done with these guys, but these guys in the clutch, in the times when they needed to be their best, Jake Diebler had them playing their best. Bruce Thornton's leadership stood out, scoring the final 9 points for Ohio State. The final 9 points for Ohio State. Huge. Diebler expressed great confidence in Thornton's poise, his ability to close out games, calling him the best point guard to finish a game. Huge praise from the head coach. Had to feel great for Bruce Thornton. This is Bruce Thornton that has had a career that some people have questioned a little bit, right? He came in 2 years ago in that freshman class, was named a leader on the team halfway through the season. He had to do his best to lead his team through that. He loses his coach the next year when he is one of the leaders of the team. They bring in Jake Diebler. He advocates for Jake Diebler to be the head coach of this team, says, make Jake Diebler the head coach. We beat Purdue. We beat Michigan State. We have something special here. Now, they do fall to Illinois in the Big Ten tournament, but it was clear Jake Diebler was the guy for this job. And if it wasn't clear then, it's clear now against Texas that Jake Diebler did just a fantastic job coaching this team in the offseason, getting them where they needed to be, and also throwing up a bunch of 3-pointers, being efficient with their play and making sure that they take good shots or they take 3-point shots. And the 3-point shots are still good shots because they made a lot of them. 50% shooting from 3-pointer in this one. Texas only 25% shooting from 3. It was a huge indication of how this game went because Texas did get 16 offensive rebounds to Ohio State's 11. Texas did only have 9 turnovers to Ohio State's 15. Texas did have 18 points off of turnovers to Ohio State's 2. There were a lot of areas in this game where Texas was better, but Ohio State turned out to be the better team. They had better shooting. They ran their offense better. They had more cohesion. They worked together better. Depth and versatility was also a huge piece. Like I said, Trey Johnson at times, he scored 29 points in this game. It almost felt like he was doing it on his own. He contributes his best, but it was bench players coming in for Ohio State, contributing on multiple different levels, coming in for starters like Meechie Johnson, Aaron Bradshaw, and Sean Stewart, who were struggling and in foul trouble, and Diebler highlighted the importance of the entire team effort. Quez Glover was another one that had a little bit of a hard time in this one. He came off the bench, but his guys definitely picked him up. Got some good minutes out of Austin Parks as well, the true sophomore, the 3-star recruit you weren't really expecting a lot from possibly, but it looks like he's had a good offseason, and Jake Diebler is going to be trusting him with minutes, a really good sign for him. Cons of the Ohio State's performance, right? We can't just talk about how great everything was. There were some cons as well. The foul trouble. Aaron Bradshaw and Sean Stewart cannot be in foul trouble this early again. You do love the depth. You do love you do love Devin Royal and Evan Mahaffey being able to come in and being able to make a huge impact for this team. But you can't have that. Aaron Bradshaw and Sean Stewart, they have got to do a better job of not getting in foul trouble. And some of those calls that Ohio State fans might say, well, that was ticky-tack or whatever. I think that for the most part, this game was officiated well. I didn't really have too many complaints with it. At the end of the day, you just got to be smart about it. It's not a big knock on them, but what I love to see was that the defense was able to withstand even with Aaron Bradshaw out. But we do need Aaron Bradshaw to be better. You need to score more points than you have personal fouls in these ones. There was inconsistent 2-point scoring in this one. Just point blank. There was some inconsistent 2-point scoring in this one. In the first half, the team shot 12 for 33 in the field goal for field goals. Well, guess what? 10 of those 12 were 3-pointers. They were 2 for 23 from 2-point range in this game, 2 for 23 from 2-point range in this game. It was hard. Now I'm rethinking it. 2 for 16. I apologize. Trying to do math on the fly. 2 for 16 from 2-point range in this one in the first half. You bring that over into the second half, and let me make sure I'm doing my math right on this one. Yes, it is 11 for 16. Much, much better. Going from 2 and 16 to 11 for 16. Much better, but it was a little inconsistent, and there's not many teams out there that can shoot 10 for 17 from the 3-point arc to start a game. That's great if you can do it. Can't rely on it every single game, though. You got to make sure you get those points. The defensive breakdowns on key players. Like I said, Trey Johnson had a day. He had 29 points in this one. The true freshman, very impressive player. Texas did have another player out. I forget what his name was, but he averaged 16 points last season. He was going to be a huge offensive threat for this team. So Trey Johnson was just kind of on his own for a little bit, and he was able to get he was able to score some points. Ohio State needs to do a better job of having better perimeter defense on him to make sure that guys don't drop, 30-some points on him or nearly 30 points on him. Key moments in this game, Ohio State's fast start. The Buckeyes jumped to an 8-0 lead right away, and they never looked back. I mean, that was the tone setter for this game. Start the tone well, get a lead, and just sit on it. After Texas cut the lead to 4 in the second half, Evan Mahaffey's defensive rebound led to a momentum-shifting layup that sparked a 9-3 run. Like I said, every time Texas got close, Ohio State would go on a run and pull back away. They get close, go on a run, pull back away. It was really, really good to see for the Buckeyes, and Thornton's 9 consecutive points to end the game. Just huge for Ohio State. Huge for the program, huge for Diebler, huge for Thornton. It was really, really good to see. Diebler's focus on chemistry, toughness, resilience. It was evident that he was focusing on those things here in the offseason because you saw them on the floor today. Balanced scoring. Like I said, Bruce Thornton had 20. Micah Parrish had 17. Devin Royal with 16. John Mobley Jr. with 14. I mean, you're having 2 starters score or over 14 points, and then you're having 2 bench players score over 14 points. You just can't ask for much better stats and much better performance there. And the team's ability to adjust at halftime, particularly regarding the spacing and paint control, that was something that was evident, that was hindering their 2-point field goal attempts at times, was with how many guys there were down in the paint and how Texas was able to contest shots because of that. The spacing was much better. It was clear they came out with a better plan in the second half, and they executed that plan so that they could score more points down in the paint and score more points in the 2-point range and not just shoot lights out from three. Ohio State's victory, this signals a strong start for the Buckeyes. The Buckeyes just keep winning. They'll be ranked. This is a huge win for them. They have Texas A&M is their next big game coming up, and if they just keep winning, they'll be ranked. Buckeyes are going to get some respect, and they've been there. This is the benefit of scheduling a hard schedule to start the year, right? A lot of teams might be afraid of that. A lot of teams might not be sure if they want to do that. Even if Ohio State lost this one, it would prove to be very effective for Ohio State. And at the end of the day, this is the kind of reward you get from scheduling a big game and then capitalizing on it with the win. There are some areas of improvement for the Buckeyes, but for the most part, this is a huge win. This is what you wanted to see out of the Buckeyes. I'm definitely rethinking my disappointing Buckeyes pick. Might just change it tomorrow. Who knows? But it did not look like a good pick for me, and I'm glad it didn't because the Buckeyes did a great job. They had a great game, and I'm super happy for Bruce Thornton, Jake Diebler, these guys. Great game. Thanks for watching, everybody. Come back Thursday at 9 o'clock when we talk all the Big Ten. These videos, we just kind of do game recaps, instant reactions, instant analysis, stuff like that. But come back where we talk about all of the Big Ten on, like I said, Thursday nights at 9 o'clock. Normally me and at least one other guest, and we're talking everything that went on, talking about teams, talking about star players, talking about coaches, talking about shenanigans, whatever's going on. We're talking about it all. Big Ten Huddle basketball channel. And if you like football, go check out the football channel as well. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.